What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Aljamain Sterling goes off in response to criticism. In the wake of Aljamain Sterling's UFC 288 title defense against Henry Cejudo, the Funkmaster quickly found himself matched up with bantamweight #1 contender Sugar Sean O'Malley. During the post-fight press conference in New Jersey, UFC President Dana White stated that the fight between the two would probably take place later this year in Boston. Fast forward to last week, and the fight between Sterling and O'Malley was announced for UFC 292. The only problem? To the knowledge of Ray Longo, Sterling's coach, the champ hadn't put pen to paper and signed a contract to fight. At the same time, footage of Sterling on the MMA Hour was making the rounds on social media. As the champ explained, he wants to fight at UFC 292 and has verbally agreed to fight, but first he needs to make sure that his body agrees to the fight. This past weekend, after an action-packed night of fights at the Apex, Dana White was asked about the status of the fight. Quickly, the UFC president assured media members in attendance that the fight between Sterling and O'Malley would take place as scheduled. In the wake of the comments, Sterling called for he and O'Malley to fight in July, a suggestion that was quickly shot down by the #1 contender. Now, during a recent exchange on Twitter, Sterling spoke about the short turnaround he'll be making by fighting at UFC 292, writing, "It's the weakest and soft to say. I really hope you're affected by the quick turnaround, tough weight cut, and any other advantage to save me. We built different. I want him at his best. No excuses." Sterling also spoke about Dana White's recent comments in a video for his YouTube channel, saying,
"Every single time they've asked me to fight, I've saddled up, put my nuts on the table, and I showed out every single time and I won." So it's just like, at what point do I get credit from the UFC, from Uncle Dana? Dana is super nice behind closed doors. But then he tells me I can't get out of my own way. I'm like, what does that even mean? Just clarify what that means. And
from the sounds of things, O'Malley is getting tired of the discourse surrounding the fight. The way he sees things, Sterling has no reason to try and dictate when the fight takes place. He spoke in a video on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm not acting like I call the shots either. Dana said August, so I said August. It's not like I told Dana, hey, run it August. I'm the man. I run this. I said, hey, Uncle Dana. I didn't call him Daddy Dana like he says. I said, hey, Uncle Dana, when do you want me to beat up Aljo? And it happened to be August, so
From the sounds of things, despite all the talk and uncertainty, the pair will in fact fight at UFC 292 on August 19th at the TD Garden. Dricus Du Plessis takes aim at Israel Adesanya ahead of title eliminator. After Israel Adesanya defeated his longtime rival Alex Pereira at UFC 287, he decided to air out streaking contender Dricus Du Plessis, who had previously stated that he was the only African contender who was born in Africa, lives in Africa, and trains in Africa, unlike Adesanya and Kamaru Usman. Those comments didn't sit well with the last stylebender, who, behind the scenes, reportedly went on to ask the UFC for a fight against Du Plessis. Despite that, the UFC decided to book Du Plessis a fight with Robert Whittaker in a title eliminator, a fight many believe the former middleweight champion will win. During a recent interview with Submission Radio, Du Plessis explained why he took the fight against Whittaker, saying,
"No, I don't want to get that title shot based on some hype created by, I don't even know what, some guy who has the title, who's behaving like a little child and overreacting, and now the fight is happening because of hype. I want to deserve my title shot. I don't want to be handed a title shot. I'm going to deserve my belt, and that's why I wanted that Whittaker fight."
In addition, Du Plessis doubled down on his comments regarding Adesanya in the past. As he pointed out, although the last stylebender is African, he doesn't reside or train there. But that wasn't all. He also took aim at the champ for referring to himself as Kiwi, Chinese, and Nigerian on separate occasions. So far, no word yet from the champ. However, the latest comments from Du Plessis likely won't be received well. Dustin Poirier analyzes Justin Gaethje's evolution. With Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje set to headline UFC 291, the fight community is eager to see how the thrilling rematch plays out. Given that the first fight between the two remains one of the most exciting fights in recent memory, it's no wonder that Poirier himself is incredibly hyped about the matchup. As many have noted, Justin Gaethje seems to have changed up his style slightly during his recent win over Rafael Fiziev. While the highlights certainly still lived up to his nickname, he seemed to be popping off his jab more efficiently and timing his shots better. During a recent appearance on the MMA Hour this week, Poirier surmised that although Gaethje changed things up somewhat, he's still largely the same fighter.
I think he looked a little different, right? Everybody says his boxing and things are changing. He did. He used his jab a lot better. He used his lateral footwork a lot better. So he did, but I still see Justin Gaethje, that the same guy. You know, he's doing a few things better, but I still see me being a matador and touching this guy.
This old school Justin who likes to get into a car crash,
yeah, just now he does it with his seatbelt on, you know?
With Poirier recently signing the contract to make the fight official, the countdown is officially on to July 29th. Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love, and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Gilbert Burns provides update on shoulder. In Gilbert Burns' UFC 288 title eliminator against Bilal Muhammad, he suffered an early shoulder injury that significantly held him back throughout the rest of the fight. As he explained to his corner between rounds, he simply couldn't punch due to the damage. Given that, many feared he would be sidelined for a long time and have to undergo shoulder surgery. Fortunately, based on the latest update from Durinho, his shoulder is slowly getting better. Despite that, he's still dealing with some numbness in his thumb and a decreased range of motion. Before signing off, Burns told fans that although he's thankful he doesn't need surgery, it's going to be a slow process getting back to 100%. Henry Cejudo reveals the only fight Jon Jones wants. Jon Jones doesn't sound as though he's planning to stick around for long now that former heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou has officially moved on from the UFC. As Jones recently teased on Twitter, he's targeting one big farewell fight in New York City before riding off into the sunset. Despite that, fans have wondered if a fight with an exciting contender like Sergey Pavlovich could potentially entice him to stay around. During a recent video for his YouTube channel, Henry Cejudo, who Jones trained with ahead of his big comeback fight with Ciryl Gane, spoke about the heavyweight champ's future, saying,
"But the guy that he probably does want to be, and he does want to be the greatest heavyweight of all time, his name is Stipe Miocic." You see, at the end of the day, people will look at the credentials, people will look at the numbers, and people will see that at the end of the day, his name is Stipe Miocic, who is the baddest heavyweight in the UFC roster in history.
So far, the expectation is that a fight between Jones and Miocic will headline a pay-per-view card at the end of this year. However, no update has been released regarding the status of negotiations. Eddie Alvarez's plea to Michael Chandler. Ahead of Conor McGregor's highly anticipated return to the octagon later this year, former UFC lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez, who McGregor infamously battered over the course of 2 rounds, is pleading with Michael Chandler to wrestle with the Irish star early on. Throughout the build-up to McGregor's UFC 205 clash against Alvarez, there was much talk of the lightweight champ's wrestling and how it could impact the fight. Despite that, Alvarez found himself largely engaging in a striking battle with McGregor come fight night. During a recent interview with ESPN, Alvarez offered some advice to Chandler, saying,
"You have to force him to wrestle early so he don't have the powerful tools that he's able to take advantage of in all these other guys. Is quick feet, good range, great striking. You take that away when you wrestle him early. Wrestle him early enough and tire his shoulders down, tire his legs down, you slow him down, and he's half the striker that he can be when he's fully energized." So,
with McGregor back in the USADA testing pool, the countdown to his return is officially on. When these two finally step inside the octagon, how do you see things playing out? Drop your predictions in the comments section down below. And now for our breaking news story of the day. We have Khamzat Chimaev announcing his next UFC fight in Abu Dhabi at UFC 294. Khamzat is currently in Abu Dhabi training for a matchup against Kamaru Usman, which seems to have been confirmed this morning. He said on his YouTube channel,
UFC told us like we're gonna fight in Abu Dhabi, so that's why I'm waiting for. I'm already here. I'm here in Dubai, living here, training camp. Everything's good. I've been in shape a long time ago. I've been in Thailand training camp. I've been here training camp. I've been in Sweden training. Usman wants to fight. I make his last fight, and he wants money. He knows what is the money, you know. Everyone knows the money. Now I'm gonna fight this guy, Abu Dhabi, smash his face, finish him, and then they have to give me that title shot. There's no money fights anymore. It's only me.
who do you think will win, Khamzat Chimaev or Kamaru Usman? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with MMA news every day. Here are the top comments from yesterday's video. Dana, he's fought 3 times in 3 years. That's not what we do here. Meanwhile, Jon has fought 1 time in 4 years. Colby kept it quiet, but his good deeds surfaced. Good on you, Colby, for helping an up-and-comer. Man, imagine Adesanya flips the script and chases Pereira to light heavyweight and snatches the belt before him, and then beats him again defending it. How could that not be the greatest rivalry ever? Colby's a hell of a man, a good goddamn model American. Every father should hope for a son like Colby. And those were the top comments from yesterday's video. If you want to be featured on our next video, make sure to leave a comment and don't forget to check out yesterday's video in case you missed it.